Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. We are reviewing multiple documents that were released to the public for the first time by the Moscow Police Department relative to their investigation into 1122 King Road on November 13th, 2022. This time I would like to call your attention to the second responding officer to the scene's report of November 13th, 2022. That is Eric Warner. And the subject of this narrative is the initial response, clearing home, interview with H.J. The narrative in relevant part states as follows. On November 13th, 2022, at approximately 11:58 hours, I responded to a report of an unconscious person at 1122 King Road. Dispatch advised a female was passed out from intoxication and was not waking up. Dispatch advised there was a male seen in the room with the female last night. A short time later, dispatch advised the female was not conscious and not breathing. Next paragraph. As I arrived, Officer Nunes advised over the air it appeared to be an unaliving. I saw a small group of females outside the home in the parking lot. One female advised their roommate was on the second floor and needed help. I went to Officer Nunes's location at the west bedroom on the second floor and passed a male in the living room, later identified as H.J. Officer Nunes advised the female and a male in the room had on them and appeared to be beyond help. I walked out of the bedroom towards J and saw a clean steak on a beer pong table. I pointed out to Nunes. Jay said he got it from the kitchen because he arrived and saw the female in the bedroom floor and did not know if there was anyone else present in the room. Jay said he checked the room with it for protection. Officer Nunes and I walked to the first floor entrance with H. I asked the females and H if there was anyone else in the apartment, and they did not know. I told Officer Nunes the home was not secure, and we started the process of clearing it. On the third floor, in the southeast bedroom, I saw two clothed females lying, and we go to page 2, ladies and gentlemen, lying on a bed on their backs who appeared to be unalived. One female on the left side of the bed in relation to the bedroom door had an extreme amount of lacerations to her face and upper body. The other female had multiple lacerations on her upper body and on her face. I walked to the far side of the bed to determine if the female on the right was beyond help. I saw the female's leg was off the edge of the bed and it had lividity. Once I noticed the lividity in the female's leg, I backed out of the room. Officer Nunes and I checked the rest of the third floor and saw it was clear. There was a poodle in the west bedroom on the bed, which was later taken to the Humane Society by LCSO. After clearing the home, I briefly interviewed Jay. Jay said he was at his apartment, redacted, and his girlfriend, EA, received a phone call from one of the girls who lived at 1122 King Road. Jay said A was called by one of the residents who said they could not wake the female on the floor. Jay said he came over to the home at approximately 11:55 hours. Jay said he saw the female on the floor in the bedroom and did not see the male in the bed, who he identified as Ethan. Before grabbing Jay said he entered the bedroom and checked the female's pulse and found none. Jay said he did not check Ethan and left the home. I thanked Jay for talking with me and told him he could go stand with A, who was with the other residents in front of the home. I stood by at the front door and started the crime scene log at 12:15 hours. Sergeant Gunderson relieved me for approximately 3 minutes so that I could get my gloves during my time at the front door. At approximately 15:02 hours, I was relieved by Officer Brzezinski, who took possession of the crime scene log and returned to the station. At approximately 15:28 hours, I came back to the scene and relieved Officer Smith, who was standing at the rear sliding glass door, which was found open when officers arrived. I remained at the back door until I was relieved by Officer Nunes at approximately 16:28 hours. And then, ladies and gentlemen, please note the certification or declaration section. Officer Warner is signing this. I certify or declare under penalty of perjury pursuant to the law of the state of Idaho that the foregoing is true and correct. E. Warner. This is signed November 18th, 2022 and reviewed on November 19th, 2022 by D. Hathaway. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could add some commentary, some opinions here. First, we note here that Officer Warner was the second responding officer because he arrived after the first, who was Officer Nunes. The additional responding officers that he identifies here in his report are Sergeant Gunderson, Corporal Snyder, Officer Smith, Officer Nunes. If you look at all of the first responders from Moscow Police Department reports of November 13th, none of them mention seeing a Sheath on the bed with Maddie and Kaylee, whereas the lead detective in the case, who arrived several hours later at approximately 4 p.m., has written that it was visible from the door. That would be Detective Brett Payne. Officer Warner, in my opinion, has written a report here in the paragraph where he identifies what he saw when he went into the third floor southeast bedroom. He details even lividity noticing. The fact that he is not seeing a sheath on the bed, which is supposedly visible to the door, is quite puzzling to me, given he has written such a detailed report here, in my opinion, along with all of the other responding officers who responded either minutes before noon or minutes after noon. And there is also no description of a photograph of a sheath by Corporal Snyder, who took approximately 182 photographs. If you have any comments, any feedback, please leave it here. Until next time, this is Kathy. Thank you for joining us here today.